Patrick Hendry is the president of the Police Benevolent Association of the City of New York. Mr. President, welcome to the show. Great to have you with us, sir.
Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Well, I got to tell you straight up, if I may, Patrick Hendry, we support the police. What the police are going through in these tenuous times is extraordinary. So appreciated. There's so many folks in their patrol cars as I speak, listening to us, Patrick Hendry. Thank you for the fight, sir, because you are the safety net of society, and God bless the NYPD. Now, walk us through, if you would, Mr. Hendry, the assaults on cops. You don't even hear about. This is a full-blown epidemic, is it not?
Yes, it is, Joe. New Yorkers need to understand what our police officers are up against on the streets of the city of New York every single day. Last year alone, we had 5,363 police officers assaulted with injuries. That's a record. And our police officers are up against it. And New Yorkers need to understand, need to support our police officers, need to demand change on the streets from their elected leaders. Call their elected leaders. Demand that a criminal justice system that is imploding at the seams, at every level, that it changes. This is sending a horrible message to our police officers that they get assaulted, and in those cases, only half of those cases, of those 5,363, were prosecuted. And less than that, the individuals who assaulted our police officers saw any jail time. Our police officers are fed up with the system, and I know all New Yorkers are fed up. Demand change now.
Yeah, it's so true. Also this, Patrick Hendry, is when during the George Floyd riots in New York, they threw, and correct me if I'm wrong here, a Molotov cocktail into a police car. The car blows up, and it was like two lawyers from upstate New York, and they correct me if I'm wrong, those people got off. Am I right? They got off, those people, right?
You know, during that, we had police officers hit with bricks, bottles, baseball bats. As you said, we had RPs being lit on fire. Police officers being demonized for wearing the uniform and the shield that every New York City police officer is so proud to wear. We had hundreds of police officers injured. And what happened in those cases? We didn't hear anything about it, about individuals being prosecuted. We didn't hear anything about those cases. If you assault the police officer, it's attack on every New Yorker. It needs to be treated that way, and they need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent. It should be one word, Joe. If you assault the police officer, you're going to be behind bars for a long, long time.
Yeah, and it's the narrative too, because when we were kids, when I was a kid, Patrick Hendry, is when my father, always, rest his soul, would always say, you have to respect law and order. And then, long story short, I won't hold you up now, sir, but I remember my pop got shot by some crazy guy, and he made it, thank God. But the cop that came to the house, I tell the story over and over again because I want people to know about law enforcement. It was a cop from Bloomfield, New Jersey, and I was a little kid. I was 10 years old, and the cop was so nice, saying to my mother, your husband's been shot, but he's going to be all right. We're here to take care of you. That was my indoctrination into the police force and what they stand for. That's who the cops are. What are we missing? What's happening? How did we get away from that? To learn to respect, to think about, even brushing past the police officer without saying, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma'am. How did we get away from that, do you think, Mr. President?
Well, the message has been sent out there. If you assault the police officer, you'd be back on the streets. All police officers go out every day, Joe, as you said, and do an amazing job of protecting the people of this city. We need to be supported by a criminal justice system that has failed at every single level. And we need the support of every New Yorker. Demand that your elected leaders change a system that is completely broken at every step. And that's how we get change. So if everyone calls up their elected leaders, demands change, and we're going to continue to be in those courtrooms where we have to demand that those who assault police officers are prosecuted. And it's taken that, and it shouldn't have, but we're going to continue to be in those courtrooms across the city, to demand change to our criminal justice system.
Police officers are your friends, the men and women of the NYPD. It's a stellar law enforcement organization, one of the most elite in all of the world, and they are to be respected. Patrick Hendry, thank you for your fight, my brother. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the time. Thank you again.
You got the airwaves anytime you need them, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. God bless. Godspeed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Patrick.